My name is Tom and I'm an alcoholic. In an effort to improve outreach to members in the armed services who may be struggling with an alcohol problem, we're collecting interviews from current AA members serving in the US and Canadian Armed Forces to share the experience and strength and hope they have found in Alcoholics Anonymous.
Hi, my name is Chris. I'm alcoholic. I am a lieutenant in the US Navy. I've not had a drink since August 10th, 2020. And I hope that by sharing some of my story, I can help other suffering alcoholics. I started drinking at the age of 15 and originally got sober at the age of 18. I stayed sober for 10 years, deployed around the world to Iraq, El Salvador, Italy, Japan. And I also attended law school, which was funded by the Navy, and stayed sober through that. I stopped participating in AA and eventually relapsed in 2018. And I returned to AA on my own accord again while stationed in Japan by joining another local AA group. Being sober in AA has only had positive effects on my career and my life. I would have definitely been kicked out of the Navy had it not been for AA, and the amazing gifts of the program have just continued to reward me both in my career and in my personal life. The main thing is I'm an alcoholic, and my fantasy is to drink like a normal human being. And that's why after 10 years of staying sober, I stopped going to meetings. I stopped being around the newcomers who would share that it doesn't work, or the people who had time and went out and came back and said, hey, it doesn't work. And I thought, oh, maybe I can try again. And I tried drinking again at 10 years sober. And sure enough, I drink just like an alcoholic, like I did when I was 15, right when I first started. There's no difference in the way that I drink. The gifts of being sober and living life fully present and aware and experiencing the ups and downs and in-betweens of life are just so rewarding now that I wouldn't change it. After every relapse, I would try like, oh, maybe I can just drink beer, or maybe it's only having it on the weekends, or maybe it's not having liquor after I drink beer, or like whatever combination I possibly could do. None of it worked. Nothing was enough to get me to control it. There was like that one random occurrence where I could have one beer with lunch, and I would like hold on to that dream that I could continue to do that. But it was always a crapshoot. It was a roll of the dice whether once I put that substance in my body, whether I would ever be able to stop. The only thing that works is abstinence through a program of AA. That's it. That's the only way I've been able to control my drinking. And I thought religion did it for me for a while. I thought I found spiritualism, and I was recovered from alcohol, and I didn't need AA anymore. I didn't need the program. I had it, and that lasted for a little while. But I was emotionally in a relapse. I was emotionally dry. I was miserable and hating life, and it was not pleasant to be around. And eventually it caught up to me, and I tried drinking again. A head full of AA and a belly full of booze is like a difficult thing to have. So you know pretty quickly, like, oh, there's a serious problem going on. So I always was able to just look up local AA meetings wherever I was. I've been to meetings in Iraq during Operation Iraqi Freedom. I've been to meetings in Italy. I've been to many, many meetings in Japan, all over. And so anywhere I've gone, AA has been there for me, ready with open arms whenever I decided I needed to get help, so that I didn't have to go to the Navy and say, hey, Navy, help me get sober. I could just walk into a local AA meeting and it remained completely anonymous and never got to the level of my command having to find out. There are some social functions or networking or things that are very like alcohol centric, right? But I've been able to navigate those and participate in them without feeling pressured to drink ever, or the need to even really disclose my alcoholism. I've shared it with a very few people, and I usually have I have a way of saying like, no, I don't drink. And if they press me like, why? Is it religion? I say, no, I like it too much. Like, and they get it and they're like, oh, okay, cool, like you're good. I've seen, especially if somebody has an issue, some type of disciplinary issue that causes them to get sober, they're able to come in and really demonstrate like, no, I screwed up, but like, here's how I'm fixing it. And I'm fixing it by working the steps and staying in the program and doing these things. And I've seen people save their career that way numerous times. Meetings, sponsor, steps, and higher power. That's like really the main things. So I have to make sure that I'm attending meetings. My life can get way too good because of the gifts of the program, and then I lose track of time to go to meetings. But what I find is if I don't go to meetings, I quickly all my character defects start rearing up, right? But meetings just aren't enough. I can't just go to meetings. So meeting with my sponsor once a week and checking in, talking with him, working 10, 11, and 12 every day. And that's where the like maintaining my spiritual condition and plugging in with a higher power. I try to break away and go to the meditation garden at my work and meditate for at least 15 minutes. That's what works for me to recenter myself, to open myself, quiet myself enough so that I can be of service in this job and in life, and not create more amends I have to make to people, right? I've always been exposed to counseling for whatever issues are coming up, whether it's grief counseling after my son and my dad passed away, which I was able to stay sober through at that time. Whether it's more in-depth therapy for some of the traumatic things that I get exposed to at work. AA has given me so many gifts and tools, but it's not necessarily the only solution to other problems, right? And so I've utilized whatever resources I need to utilize to help me continue to grow and better myself. There's a solution. You can live free of the demons that you're dealing with. I see people in my work every day end up going to jail or dying or ruining their life. You don't have to do that. There is a solution to alcoholism, and I've found long-term recovery and freedom through AA. Regardless of how bad you think your situation is, I have seen worse people get and stay sober. You just have to do it. There really is a solution to the disease of alcoholism, and you do not have to live the way that you're living now.
Excellent. Chris, thank you for sharing your experience, strength, and hope with us today.
The views and opinions expressed during this podcast are those of the individuals. No one person speaks for AA as a whole. For more information about AA, please visit our website at aa.org. To find a meeting near you or a meeting online, download the Meeting Guide app on your mobile device.